So the next thing we're going to talk about is the Quick Access Toolbar. We're going to move it to display it below the ribbon. We're going to explain what it is, and then we're going to customize it a little bit. So the Quick Access Toolbar is this structure right here. And it's sort of stuck out of the way. There is an option to display it below the ribbon, which is where I like to keep it. And that way it's a little bit more accessible. There's not much to it at this point. We have the Save icon, we have the Undo button and the Redo button, which are both grayed out because we haven't done anything in the workbook to actually undo or redo. The Save icon, you're going to use either the Save icon or Control-S to save your workbook probably frequently, or at least you should. Because when you make changes in your workbook, they're not automatically saved. They're in random access memory until you save the workbook. So if you make a change in your workbook and you're happy with it, go ahead, Control-S, save it, or click the Save icon, and that way you'll never lose it. There are some safeguards that Excel has, auto-save, auto-recover, that we'll talk about later on, that will help prevent you from losing valuable information and changes in your spreadsheet. But just to be on the safe side, if you're happy with a change, Control-S, save it, and that way you don't have to worry about it. So there's three icons, the Save icon, the Undo, and the Redo button. We haven't talked about entering data into the spreadsheet, but just for the sake of making the point, if I enter a 1 into the spreadsheet, the Undo button is displayed. I can click Undo, and then the Redo button is displayed. So if I enter more than one thing, I can undo that, and now I have two things that I can undo or redo. In fact, there's a whole list that's maintained of up to 100 different changes that you can undo and redo, and we'll talk more about this later. But in addition to these three icons, you can also customize the Quick Access Toolbar to a limited degree. And you may notice that some of these things are actually command buttons that are on the ribbon, at least in some place on the ribbon. But when you add them to the Quick Access Toolbar by clicking on these, and if you want to remove them from the Quick Access Toolbar, you just clear the checkbox and it removes it. But the nice thing about the Quick Access Toolbar is it is showing and available regardless of where you are in the ribbon. So if you have some commands that you frequently use, you can set them up on the Quick Access Toolbar and always have them available to you regardless of where you are in the ribbon. In fact, later on we're going to talk about customizing it to the extent that you have access to about 1,200 different command options, and you can also set up commands on the Quick Access Toolbar that are workbook specific. There's some global settings, and then there are some Quick Access Toolbar options and commands that you can set up that are specific to a given workbook. And again, we'll talk about all that later. So that's the Quick Access Toolbar. We talked about what it is and what it generally is used for. We moved it below the ribbon, and we customized it a little bit.